So it looks like Jennifer Lopez might have been in deeper with Diddy than we could have ever expected, because some new information has just come to light that suggests that she was right there at the scene of Diddy's freak-off for the longest time. We all thought Jlo's connection to Diddy was just that 1995 clubbing situation where Shine ended up taking the fall, but allegedly she stayed mixed up in Diddy's drama long after they called it quits. Now here's the tea. Word on the street is that Ben Affleck knew about this, and that's the real reason he dumped J.Lo before things went left. But what exactly did Ben know about her activity, and was Diddy really out here black? Mel and J.Lo with footage of her and some young dudes. Let's break this down. If there's one person we can say had a history with Diddy, it's definitely J.Lo, even though she tries to play it down to make us believe that it was nothing serious. They were the it couple back in the late 90s. And there's always been talk about how she was Diddy's ride or die and that she knew more than she ever let on, but for whatever reason, the full details of her relationship with Diddy have always stayed hush-hush. Sure, we knew they dated, but the streets have been buzzing for years that there was way more to the story, and especially with that whole 1999 situation, it's like she's always had something to keep under wraps. J.Lo has always acted innocent, like she got swept up in the moment with Diddy and had no idea what was going on or what he was like. However, the full details of that club paint a different picture of Jlo's involvement. So Diddy and J.Lo were at a club in Times Square celebrating Shine's soon-to-drop album. Shine was Diddy's 21-year-old protege just breaking into the game, just like J.Lo at the time. As they were leaving, Diddy, who was holding a champagne bottle, accidentally bumped into a guy named Matthew Allen, aka Scar in the street. Scar wasn't feeling it and shoved Diddy, and from there things escalated real quickly. Then one of Scar's boys throws a stack of cash in Diddy's face, and Diddy felt insulted by that, and just like that Diddy pulled out of and shots started flying. The chaos left 3 people hurt, including Nat Anaruin, who was reportedly in the face by Diddy. Meanwhile, Diddy and J.Lo didn't stick around after the fire. As soon as things popped off, they hopped into a Lincoln Navigator with a stash in the back. But here's the wild part, they weren't even caught for the shooting right away. They got pulled over because they blew through a red light while trying to make their sloppy escape. At the station they both had to take mug shots, and J.Lo was reportedly a wreck, crying all over the place. At one point they even handcuffed her to a pole. Then her mom showed up yelling at her in Spanish like, "I warned you to stay away from him." Even her mom knew Diddy was trouble, and would end up being a bad influence on J.Lo, and honestly she wasn't wrong. And get this, J.Lo let Diddy and his legal team use her name to help him wiggle out of those charges from the whole ordeal. One of his lawyers reportedly told the judge, "I don't know if you know this, judge, but this person, Jennifer Lopez, is a very famous actress. To think Mr. Combs is walking around with her with a loading, it's so ridiculous that it stretches the imagination." Somehow that defense actually worked and Diddy got off scot-free, but Jlo's role in the shooting apparently went way deeper than just letting him use her name. In Lil Rod's lawsuit, he claimed that Diddy admitted J.Lo was the one who smuggled the into the club in the first place, and to top it off, she allegedly handed Diddy the when things popped off with Scar and told him to start firing. Say what now? The lawsuit stated he revealed that the artist and Mr. Coles' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez aka J.Lo, brought the into the club for him and handed it over after he got into an altercation. Yeah, it's clear that J.Lo was in down bad with Diddy. On top of that, she even confessed in an interview that despite Diddy cheating on her while they were together, she was still head heels for him and would do anything for him. Chia had her wrapped around his finger. She said, "It was the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful. I was in a relationship with Puff, where I was totally crying crazy and going nuts. It really took my whole life into a tailspin." Well, word on the streets is that J.Lo was wild enough to do anything he asked, including allegedly participating in those freak-offs even after they split. She supposedly kept getting involved with him on the low, according to a blind item making the rounds. 50 Cent claims that even while J.Lo was married to other guys, she was still allegedly seeing Diddy, and when he started getting into those freak-offs, J.Lo was supposedly right there with him, taking part in all the drama. But before we get into the blind item, can we talk about how the feds kind of hinted at this in their indictment document on Diddy? The document said the defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern toward women and other individuals. This was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and as part of his pattern of Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of activity with male commercial workers. At times Combs and others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same end. Using intimidation, and it also said the defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his commercial. Those employees included security staff, household staff, personal assistants, high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates who acted as Combs intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. The feds also revealed that they have been monitoring the so-called freak-off parties for years and that multiple big-name celebs have been involved in the freak-off, the document said. Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force and threat to force and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended acts with male commercial workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Okay, why now to the blind item? These streets are saying that 50 Cent claimed that J-Lo was not only present at those freak-offs but was also actively involved in the party, and Holden, and he also claimed Todd CL that some of her freak-off partners weren't always of legal age, if you know what I mean. An insider shared that 50 isn't just aware of this, as he even gave that information to the feds and turned over video footage of J-Lo at the freak-offs with those young boy. Child, one thing about 50 is he's going to keep hating on Diddy forever, and this time is no exception, but now he's taking it a step further than just throwing shade on social media. Handing that footage over to the feds is bound to get Diddy and J-Lo into even deeper trouble. Child, when that documentary of his finally comes out, it's going to be a whole mess. The blind item said. 50 Cent is reportedly given wires to the Hollywood friends that the FBI has KN tapes of Jennifer Lopez having intercourse with underage girls and boys at the P. Diddy freak-off parties, and Lopez was caught in several not tapes that were seized by the FBI in the P. Diddy house raids. That's the reason Ben Affleck and Lopez are getting divorced, as the FBI informed Affleck of the videos and future indictments coming. So it looks like this is the real reason that Ben Affleck called it quits, because honestly, who wants to be involved in this kind of drama? Certainly not, Ben fans commented. J-Lo dated Diddy as she knew Kim Porter was still in a relationship with him. She sold herself to Diddy for fame, and now sheplaced victim of Diddy. Why shimmy on J-Lo? Another person said, of course. J-Lo was involved. She was with Diddy to get her career going, and it worked. Now she is such a narcissist. She knew what Diddy was like. People who want to become a big star will do anything to become one. Her ticket was Diddy. Why now she's paying the price for dealing with evil. She shouldn't care. She got what she wanted. Fame and fortune. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this, then check out this next video.